So you know that death of mainstream comics, then you and I have talked about a lot. Yeah. It's here right now. So hey there. So today I want to return with an impromptu video talking about the article in front of you and talking about where mainstream comics is. Why? Because mainstream comics, it just died. See, Diamond Comic Distributors, they just announced that they are no longer taking in new comics. As noted by Bleeding Cool, they have been informed by multiple senior industry figures that Diamond Comic Distributors is requesting that no more products be shipped to any of its warehouses until further notice. Products that are already in its warehouses, they will be distributed such as they can, meaning if we can distribute them, we will. But after that, they will be distributing no more comics, no more magazines, no more books, no more toys, no more games or any other products related to that until further notice. Now, if you know nothing about comic books and the way that they're set up, there is only one distributor in the game. Diamond Comics. They're the only person that takes it from, say, a Marvel or a DC or IDW or Image and brings that to the comic book shops. That happened back in the 1990s. It was a byproduct of Marvel. You know, I'm sure that you've heard about a comic book crash back when. Yeah, Marvel caused that. They killed every other distributor, and the new model that remains, that's Diamond Comics. Now, that has already had problems. I mean, if you look at numbers for the last few years, basically, what you see in this, you can see the way that the market sets up, but you also see prices that have gone through the roof. This reliance on basically milestoning and on new release number ones, basically going in, creating a number one over and over again. And what that's done is it's made the money stabilize. They basically raise the price every time that they want to say, hey, we're finally making money. They found the bottom, but demand, it's kept dropping. Demand has dropped since 2007. You had a 10% drop in 2017, rather. I said 2007, 2017, 2018 saw a 6% drop. 2019, it had around, I think, a 3% drop. And right now we have yet another 3% drop. That was the slow demise of comic books. And what happens in that is the comic book shops, they suffer. They close down because nobody wants the products. Right now, though, comic book shops that, again, they're not making enough money to buffer through disaster. They're shut down in the moment. But even if they were able to open up, there is no one distributing comics to them, and that it's shut down for the foreseeable future. That's why you have comic book pros out there that are begging for truces in the quote-unquote culture war, because they are at a point now that they are barely making money as is. I mean, really, when you work in comic books, it's like a form of socialism, I suppose, because you don't really get paid for it. You have to do it, quote unquote, for the joy of that. You may make money going to conventions and on, but you're not going to make money working in that industry. And now, well, there's no money to be made. So continuing this article, Diamond Comic Distributors, as it says, are the exclusive distributors to the direct market of comic books for Marvel, for DC, for Image, for Dark Horse, for Dynamite, Boom, and many, many more publishers. Without Diamond, that's it. Like they say, that's not hyperbole in any way, shape, or form. If Diamond checks out of it, the game is over. There, he said, though, I've been telling people you're not going to panic because there are plans for digital first publication. No one cares about digital comics. People that collect comics do not care about digital comics. They may read them off and on, but the things that you see with comic books now, when you have a launch that comes out at $9.99 and they put out 25 covers for it, you can't do that predatory practice when it comes to digital comics. Consumers will not buy 7 variant covers, and there's no comic book shop to force that practice on. You can't keep rebooting and rebooting that way without people saying, hey, why am I picking this up? And let's be real, people will go out out they will pirate that merchandise because without a physical copy in their hand, what's the point for most people? He also says, I hear their alternate plans are going into place to ship books to retailers who can still accept them. That's a big thing too. So while you're sitting here trying to make plans, how long do you think this can go down? We're talking about an industry that, again, is paycheck to paycheck for most mom and pop shops, and they sell comic books every single week. How many weeks can they be down? I mean, even with a monthly comic book, can you get behind a month? Because no one will want that backstop. And Marvel, they don't refund comic books. If I buy them and I don't want that, they won't take them back. There's no returnability option. They're saying they're going to give you discounts, but that doesn't matter. If you can't sell that comic book, you're eating the cost. How many of those can you eat the cost of before you basically have to choose between eating comics or not eating at all? So when you see that, and there are smart people working on this with the industry's best interest in mind. It shouldn't affect this week's comic books. Many stores already have them. Stores that can't open up, stores that can't actually bring them to you. That's just not working. Also, another thing is that Walmart currently, they do have books in them. You know what? Nobody's buying comic books right now. Not only because of necessities, but also because you don't want to go through and thumb through something when you have this invisible thread out there that scares so many people. I've also been told that it's advisable comic retailers and publishers in the U.S. to look into recent announcements for new forgivable loans for businesses with 500 or under 500 people. That's first come, first served situations. So basically what they're telling you is, hey, if you want to continue in comic books, if you want to be strapped to this industry, you need to go to the government and ask about forgivable loans for businesses if you don't employ over 500 people. I mean, imagine an industry like that. This industry, like I said, it is predatory beyond belief. It has basically killed shop after shop. We saw 50 collapse in 2017. We saw 100 collapse in 2018, well above that, over 200. They collapsed in 2019, and it may well be the death blow. That's what it sounds like with this. Now, there's supposed to be an official announcement that's going to be coming up about this, too. They tell us to stay tuned on that so, we can find out about it. But like I said, there is no announcement that's going to make this better. There is no announcement that's going to save comic book shops, and it's going to bring them back from the brink when you talk about something like this. Again, when you do not take in any new products, you don't move any new products, how long can stores last? I would say not very long, especially those that are dependent on something like Marvel. You saw the new Warriors. You saw exactly what that new stock would be. Anyhow, how would you move that anyway? When you're dependent on DC, they just had to go in and they had to restructure their whole company because they are having so many problems. Image Comics, without all of the stuff from Walking Dead, their money, it was almost cut in half. Dark Horse, they've been a small contender in this stuff, but not really much of one. IDW, they would actually be the fourth largest publisher. They just lost $26 million, I think it was, for 2019, and they lost $30+ million for 2018. So, when you look at this, we're talking about problems. And this, like I said, it looks like the death of mainstream comics. But anyhow, you tell me what you think about this stuff. I think it's absolutely insane to see. I'm interested in where it will go, but this is the kind of stuff we've been talking about for a while. All those pros that went out there and they talked all this trash about consumers too, they made this happen. It may not be their fault in the moment that the collapse has just been made manifest, but they led us down this road. Companies that wanted to say that consumers didn't matter, they led them down the road too. In 1990s, I would have braved this stuff and found me a shop to buy things. Now, I wouldn't do that. And well, Diamond, they seem to understand that too. There's no way that anything's going to come out. And yeah, anyway. So, like I said, I wanted to cover this impromptu. Forgive me if I rambled a little bit. I'm excited about the news. I'm wondering, I'm apprehensive, and I'm not feeling good for comic book shops right now. But anyway, you tell me what you think. Yeah, leave me your comments there. And thank you for showing up. I want to end that by saying this too. You make this stuff possible. They forgot that, and that's why they pay the ultimate price for it. They forgot who they're trying to impress. It's not them. It's not their employees. It's you, the people who buy the merchandise. Again, it's not them. They have nothing to do with that. But anyway, you tell me what you think. Again, thank you for your time and your attention here. I try to put these together a little bit better. But like I said, this is insane breaking news. So yeah, I wanted to share it with you. Thank you.